everybody. Sam Quinton with Sinopa Publishing right here in Frankfort, Kentucky. Please excuse the headset. I'm having a little trouble with my mic stand and my mic over there. I wanted to take just a quick moment to talk about something that has made a huge difference in my life. And that's crowdfunding. Now, let me get that out. It's getting too much of a glare. Crowdfunding, the way I approach it, is used to fund project development, production, things like that. Um, for me, we actually make revenue after the crowdfunding through subsequent sales, and then we put that money back into more products to make, right? So, when we first started in 2017, our model was a little different. I had higher expectations about what our retail sales were going to look like, about what our direct sales were going to look like. I expected more revenue to come in, so I was a little overly optimistic. Unrealistic is another way of saying that. But with that optimism, acting in good faith, we set about our first couple of books on a royalty basis with our contributing artists. Now, while those artists continue to get paid every time one of those books sells, the problem with that model, at least at the sales volumes that we see, is that it can take years really to make the revenue from that you would expect to just on a flat commission rate. So it was our second or third book. I changed to just a flat commission rate level. Now, that was very challenging because the revenue at that point had not been very much. So, brought out what money I had made, bought some pages that I needed for crowdfunding purposes and for the book that we were doing, and launched out into the world. And our crowdfunding campaign was successful. And we were able to complete the book, get the backer rewards out to everyone, and fulfill our obligation in a timely manner. Most importantly, we were able to pay our people as we agreed, and they would no longer have to wait just continuously for another book to make royalties on. Those back-end deals, if something hits really hard and does really well, that's great, but those are the exception, not the rule, in my experience. So, as we continue to work forward, we would follow pretty much the same methodology. We would make money through selling stuff after the crowdfunding campaigns, take that money, get 2, 3, 4, 5, however many pages of art we needed for our crowdfunding campaign, get that funded, finish the completion of the next project, get it fulfilled, get more stuff printed, and then sell that, on and on and on. And that served us pretty well. And the key crux in all that, aside from all the people who worked their asses off to make that happen, is the fact that we've benefited from our crowdfunding efforts. Our backers have made each of our books possible. Without them, they just simply would not have been able to happen. So we've had the success of putting out Tale of the Wizard's Eye, The Draw Glenfollow, Comet over Echo Rock, Death Comes to Glenfollow, the Sinopa Omnibus Volumes 1 and 2, hopefully 3 either later this year or next year. The Steel Road, Santa Dragon Claws Prevents 25 Holiday Magic Items, which was a lot of fun with my co-creator on that one, Zach Viola. He is a hoot and a real blast of a human being. Love that man to death. And then, of course, Whispers of Persephone, which was wholly illustrated by Christian Martinez. Fabulous work. And then we've done, a lot of other things along the way as far as like maps and stuff for our campaigns, things of that nature. But then, as far as comics go, comics are pretty demanding. With your RPG books, you can usually take art and use it sometimes 2 or 3 times in the same book, in whole or in part, depending on the nature of the art. I've had some experience with that that's worked out very, very well. Highlighting different elements of different illustrations, things of that nature. But the thing with comics is you have continuous art expense for 20, 24, 28, 32, however many pages you've got. And that racks up, a pretty hefty bill pretty quickly. So we come to our crowdfunding and we, do everything we can to fund the remaining expenses on it and then just print as many books as we can and get it fulfilled and out to everyone just like that. But then you have leftover inventory, which we then take and sell to our supporting retail stores and to at our convention appearances. But it still always comes back to the crowdfunding. Because when you do the math, when you actually sit down and take a hard look at it, at the current page rates that we're able to pay, if we were dependent solely upon the direct market, our comics would have to sell about 30,000 copies each issue just to break even on art production and shipping costs. And that would, that's not even, paying the company anything. That's literally just covering expenses. So that's a lot to take in, especially in an environment when in the direct market, comics aren't really doing that well very often. There are several titles that do, don't get me wrong. But for, new creators, that's a long, hard rope to pull, long, hard ladder to climb, however you want to turn that phrase. It's not very common. You have to really work and earn your stripes to get to that level. And that's if you're producing, really good material that people like and want to read and want to buy, So crowdfunding becomes important because the people who are helping you with your crowdfunding campaigns, those folks are literally helping to foot the bill to get this project made because either they believe in you personally, they are a fan of yours, or they just really think the idea is cool and want to help make that happen. I've been really very fortunate that a lot of people have stood behind me and lifted me up and made some really fantastic things happen. So thank you all. I appreciate you. We're going to be doing a lot more towards the end of this year and in 2025. 2024 was supposed to be a pretty big year, but some things happened. I had some personal issues. I had some health issues that really slowed me down. The early part of the year was a little rough, and then in July I got COVID, and that put me down for a solid 2 weeks. And then here in August I managed to get influenza. I got the flu real good, and I was down for another 4 days. And then we have some family health issues that I won't go into too much. They've been, we'll say distracting is a good word for it. But through all of that, I've enjoyed the messages and the outreach I've received from so many people who've read our books and who are interested in knowing, hey, are you going to be able to make this one? Are you going to do this one? Yes, we will. We will be making 47 Furious Tales issue 4. Alexia is in Europe now, and we're still waiting for her to get settled so that we can get back into production. Reign of Ages issue 4 is being drawn by Nick Capone right now. We are working to finalize the production schedule on Tibby because there were some changes that had to happen. Brian Lee is working on Necroholic issue 4. Although I do need to reach out to him. I need to take a note of that for myself. And then I have another comic project that we're working on, a licensing deal that we're not ready to announce yet. We haven't signed any contracts on it yet. We're still in the early phases of it. But those early phases are a lot of work. So bear with us and stick with me on that one. It's really late at night. So bear with me if I sound tired, because I really am. And I've got a lot left to do before I can get some sleep. And then real early in the morning to get up and get my youngest fed and on the school bus and get to work and all that day job stuff that we do. But I want to take a moment and just say thanks to all of you. We will get back to posting regularly on the YouTube channel and our other social media stuff. Things are a little better. I'm feeling a lot better than I have in the last couple of months. And, we've got some things to overcome still. But I'm working on it. And the funny thing about putting in the effort, about working on stuff, is that you're never defeated until you stop fighting. You've never failed until you stop trying. And you'll succeed when you've put in the work and the effort to make success inevitable. So, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, night, morning, wherever you are. I look forward to our next video. Until next time, Sam Quentin with Sinopa Publishing. You have a good one.